This is So Mean by Kirsty Flaw. What does mean, you might ask? Well, it turns out that Hugh Jackman is getting divorced from his wife, Deborah, and he's living large. That's what's so mean. Deborah here dumped him, and he's supposed to go off and diminish or suffer, and he isn't. He's doing better than she is. So now she's filled with resentment. There he is with his new beautiful wife or girlfriend, and there she is alone. Now, you might ask how I can be so sure of this. Because originally their divorce was amicable. Hugh Jackman and Deborah Furness initially announced their separation as an amicable split, stating that they have been blessed to share almost 3 decades together in a wonderful, loving marriage and were separating to pursue individual growth. Individual growth. Translation. She figured she got as much as she can out of this guy by riding his coattails. Now she figures she can do better, and it didn't turn out that way. So Kirsty here is going to try and spin this as Hugh Jackman sleeping around or being mean, when the simple fact is Deborah here is the one who initiated this. She had enough of him. Not because he was a bad person. It's just that this is what happens. And it's not turning out her way. Now, before we go any further, I want to show you this video of mine, Gray Divorces. When husbands retire, wives have no more use for them. Now, this isn't a story about an individual. This is a trend. The man retires. He's got a fixed income. He no longer has any of the prestige of the career he once had. And the wife dumps him because she wasn't there for him. She was there for his prestige. And that's what went on with Deborah here, right? She figured she was going to separate and do better than him. And it didn't work out that way. Now, we'll get into what Thirsty Flawed has to say.
Says here that Ryan Reynolds came up with the Hugh Jackman divorce joke in Deadpool. So it says here in the article that Deadpool loves to get under people's skin, just like Ryan Reynolds. And that includes spouting snarky one-liners, just like Ryan Reynolds. One of his most brutal ones is directed at Wolverine. Wolverine. The other day I said Wolverine. Someone was commenting on it that we should have a Wolverine. But yeah, anyways. So one of these comments is directed at Wolverine, saying he's usually shirtless, but he's let himself go since the divorce. It's a cheeky reference to Hugh Jackman's separation from his wife of 27 years, Deborah.
So their big dig to her was that he let himself go? Well, gee, that's really harsh.
Deborra-Lee Furness. That makes me suspicious of what Hugh Jackman is now doing on Instagram, if he's actually taking digs at his ex-wife. I think that's really inconsiderate, and I think that's really out of his style. And I'm
Really, it's inconsiderate of him, even though in the end he's really retaliating. Take a look at this, right? It was amicable originally. However, the recent developments suggest a shift. Furness filing for divorce and describing the end of their marriage as a traumatic journey of betrayal. Jackman has been reportedly blindsided and extremely disappointed by Furness's public comments, as there was an unwritten understanding that she would not criticize him publicly. Well, Jackman, women's promises are written on cakes of soap and they're thrown into the river afterwards. Women renege on their promises all the time. They don't respect men. Guys fall for this shit all the time. She loves me. She wouldn't do that to me. And that's exactly what she did. So this woman started this flawed. Furness started, going after him publicly first. So he's just retaliating.
That if that is true, I'm really disappointed in him. And I understand that Deborah wants this information to be public, but I think it's been public for a while now that there were cheating rumors around Hugh Jackman. And today there is a story in the Daily
If there were cheating rumors, again, guys, why was it so an amicable split? Because the cheating rumors are neither here nor there. It's a lie. It's a spin. Jackman's just doing better than her.
Mail saying that Deborra-Lee Furness is being offered huge sums to spill Hollywood's open secret about Hugh Jackman. Yeah. I mean, I've heard these rumors for so many years too. I met people who had direct contact with him about these things. So, yeah, but that doesn't add up to this whole drama with these women if he is, not straight, which have been a rumor for a long time. So, one of you guys commented
He's not straight. Okay, then. If he's not straight, it's a problem. How come this marriage lasted for 27 years? Because in typical female fashion, she wasn't interested in his sex. She didn't care about his orientation. She was there for his fame and fortune. You think in 27 years she didn't know what his proclivities were, flawed?
on that video about Deborra-Lee Furness saying that here in Australia, we
Okay, prepare for the gaslighting and the spinning. Right.
for a long time. So one of you guys commented on that video about Deborra-Lee Furness saying that here in Australia, we love Deborra-Lee Furness. She sacrificed her incredibly promising career for her younger husband, both agreeing his prospects were heading for the stars.
Okay, she didn't sacrifice shit. She didn't sacrifice shit. Both of them could have had separate careers. There's all kinds of husband and wife actor teams. No, she wanted to leech off him. She said, why should I have to do the legwork of making a career for myself when this guy can do all the labor and I can simply marry him and leech off him? So women do this all the time, guys. They spin female parasitism as self-sacrifice. She saw he was the bigger star, so she went with him. If he was the smaller star, she would have dumped him long ago. The marriage wouldn't have lasted for 27 years.
Hugh Jackman got as far as he did because of her, and one way or another, believe
Really, she got him to the United States, so she's a big star in Australia. But he made it to Hollywood, where it counts. She didn't get him there.
me, she deserves respect. Yeah, all I knew about Deborah was that she was Hugh Jackman's wife, so I didn't
Yeah, yeah. She's a big star in Australia, never heard of her. That's right. I didn't know Jackman was married for the longest time. She's a nobody, leeching off a man as usual.
know that she was a big star in Australia. I knew that she had a career before meeting him, but that makes sense. And of course, she feels betrayed. And as some people are
No, that's a lie. She didn't feel betrayed. He didn't tell her to dump her career. She did that on her own, so she didn't have to work. Gaslighting rejected, flawed.
pointing out that Hugh Jackman is still supporting Ryan Reynolds so publicly. Maybe he's not such a good person after all. And there's another
Oh, yeah, really. Now, it's true, I don't like innocent men like Baldoni getting zapped. But nevertheless, Hugh Jackman is actually showing principles by standing by his friend, which is more than I can say about you girls, because Taylor Swift was friends, for example, with Blake Lively for years, but she dumped her as soon as she was asked to sacrifice something of herself. Now, Taylor shit here. She didn't dump Lively because Lively lied about an innocent man. She was actually supporting her for that. No, The way this is going, Blake Lively is going to be in trouble. Baldoni is going to win this case and is destroying her career. And so she's trying to drag Taylor Shit in with her. And Shit here is not having it. She's not going to stand by her friend thick and through, thick and thin. Her friendship is completely shallow. If Lively had left her alone and said, I'm just going to go after Baldoni, Taylor Shit here would have been glad to support her. She would say, yeah, you go, girl. Dump your career just to get this guy. But she had to sacrifice too. And she wasn't going to do that. Unlike Jackman Flaw, who's willing to stand by Ryan Reynolds, right or wrong. Now, there's real loyalty.
Another story here about how Ryan Reynolds influences the people around him and how they behave on social media and in.
Okay, that's as far as we need to go here. I've made my point. This is what this is about. I think I've proven this. I've at least showed my evidence. This woman here, Deborah, she was dumping Jackman anyway. She was happy to dump him. But guess what? He's doing better than her. There's something unspoken about relationships, guys. When the woman dumps the man, they didn't just split, she was dumping him. He's supposed to go off and die, or at least suffer, shrink, diminish, wilt. And she's supposed to radiate. That didn't happen. Jackman's got the new, pretty, younger wife, and he's living large. And of course, that's what's pissing her off. Because these women aren't about living their best lives. It's about destroying the man. So you're wrong, flawed. This isn't mean. Jackman is just living the way men should live. And screw his wife.